Los Angeles Stadium looks less like a soccer venue and more like airport customs for national anxiety. 70,492 people in Inglewood waiting to find out whether the USA's home World Cup opener gets waved through or pulled aside for a very expensive stress test. It's the 2026 World Cup. Group D has arrived at its first passport check. USA versus Paraguay on June 12th, and the broadcast graphic is already doing paperwork. Final score, held at customs. We are not opening that declaration yet. Every chance, foul, and momentum swing goes in the tray first. At the start, this is clean American sports television. Polished camera, sane colors, nobody's shin bending like a pool noodle. Mauricio Pochettino is on the touchline looking like he has personally ironed the formation. Matt Freese starts in goal, Tim Ream wears the captain's armband, and the U.S. sheet has Pulisic, McKinney, Adams, Balogun, Dest, Robinson, Richards, Freeman, and Tillman all trying to make the opener feel less like a medical exam. Paraguay, meanwhile, are back at the World Cup after 16 years, carrying that 2010 quarterfinal run like a passport with one very handsome stamp. Then the match takes one breath and immediately chokes on it. Inside 76 seconds, Paraguay test freeze before half the nachos in Section 214 have located their seats. A proper cold-open jump scare. Freeze has barely adjusted his gloves, and Paraguay are already trying to turn the home opener into a hallway scene from a horror movie. But the U.S. response comes quickly enough to keep the customs line moving. Pulisic and McKinney start combining in dangerous pockets, placing the first American attacking items in the tray. One sharp run, one clipped pass, one fan base pretending its pulse is normal. That is where the first tiny wrong thing appears. Along the touchline, for about half a second, a TSA-style conveyor belt rolls into frame. The ball rides at 3 feet, and play continues as if this is accepted FIFA equipment. Professional silence from the booth. Correct decision, honestly. You do not interrupt a World Cup opener just because the touchline briefly becomes Terminal 6. As the game settles, the USA begin controlling the paperwork. By full time, the numbers will say 65% possession, 16 total attempts, and 6 on target for the hosts, while Paraguay end up with 35% possession, 9 attempts, and only 1 on target. That is a lot of American stamps on the form. But Paraguay make the inspection extremely physical, with 17 fouls and 5 yellow cards, their defensive group project briefly becoming everyone chose slide tackle. The USA commit 13 fouls and take 1 yellow, which, in customs terms, is more, "Sir, remove your belt," than, "Please follow us to the back room." Paraguay still keep looking for the green lane. Every counterattack feels like somebody trying to sneak 3 points through with nothing to declare. And every U.S. recovery is another passport check from Adams, Ream, or Richards. The score bug begins to drift. Not break, drift. A corner graphic flashes secondary inspection after 1 U.S. chance. A yellow card gets scanned like contraband. On replay, a pigeon is clearly stamping a passport during a missed defensive rotation, and the analyst simply notes that Paraguay have lost their spacing between the lines. By the time the match reaches full cartoon processing, the broadcast remains calm enough to sell insurance during a meteor shower. The pitch becomes a giant luggage carousel. Players slide past on suitcases. The referee runs a metal detector over the ball, it beeps, and everybody nods like this is standard protocol for Group D. The crowd chants start sounding like boarding groups. Group A, now boarding. Group D, please panic in an orderly fashion. Through the nonsense, the real shape stays readable. U.S. pressure, Paraguay fouls, Pulisic and McKinney knitting attacks, Tillman finding useful spaces, Balogun lurking like a striker who has already seen the customs paperwork and knows what is inside. And still, No stamp. Every clue points in one direction, but the customs officer refuses to open the declaration before the whistle. That is discipline. That is tournament administration. That is also how you get 70,492 people staring at a scoreboard like it owes them money. After 90 minutes of inspection, the contents are officially declared. USA 3, Paraguay 0. The first item in the tray came in the 7th minute, when a U.S. transition through Alex Freeman, Weston McKennie, and Christian Pulisic forced the final touch off Damian Bobadilla for an own goal. Then, Folarin Balogun cleared customs twice himself, finishing in the 31st minute and again at 45+5, becoming the first American with a World Cup brace since Bert Patenaude in 1930. Leather boots, grainy photos, goalkeepers dressed like substitute math teachers. The paperwork gets even cleaner from there. Pulisic's assist was his 3rd career World Cup assist, the most by any USMNT player, and the halftime margin was the first 3-0 halftime lead in U.S. men's World Cup history. So yes, customs clears the host nation for 3 points, the suitcase coughs up confetti, a vuvuzela, and 1 illegal extra stoppage time minute stamped denied. The opener got processed, but Australia and Turkey are waiting at the next gates. So, what will happen next? Tell me which match deserves the WC recaps treatment next. The most cursed moment, the worst collapse, the weirdest VAR scene, or the game that looked like it failed inspection.